Oh. Shit, where'd it go? Where did my Twitch go? Are you serious right now? Okay, I'm sorry about that, guys. I don't really know what happened. My computer decided to, I accidentally clicked a bookmark, and it took me off my channel. So if anyone asked me a question in, like, the past minute or so, do it again, because I didn't see. Yeah, and then we're going to go ahead and get started. Sorry about that. Okay. Cool. So let's go ahead and get started. So the second page on measure 21, let me know if you guys can see this okay. What we have is we have the same pattern, that A pattern. Except just the left hand plays it. And then here in the right hand, that's when things start to get a little different. That's when we can call it, let's say, the B section. Because it's still kind of the same sounding melody, well, in terms of rhythm, especially in the left hand, but now it's growing a little bit different. So what I'm going to look at right now is I'm going to look at the left hand. So we have the notes D, A, D, E, F sharp, A natural, and C sharp, right? So what this is again, it's just the same pattern as before. It's just the same 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 pattern. So I'm going to go ahead and play that for you right now real quick. And also, we've kind of gone a little bit lower. So we have 5 on D, 2 on A, 1 on D, and then we cross over to the fourth finger on E, second finger on F sharp, or sorry, third finger on F sharp, second finger on A, and first finger on C sharp. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and play that one more time, count out the fingerings, so follow along if you'd like to. This is the 23rd measure, or the second bar of the second page. So here we go. We have 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again. 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's just the same fingering we were doing before. So now let's take it up to speed. See, it's too fast, so let's slow it down. All right. The only thing I would look out for is that reach between going from 4, 3, 2, 1, the E, F sharp, A, and C sharp. It can be a little irritating. So I'm going to do that a couple more times, and then we're going to move on to the next pattern. 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. So what I'm doing is I'm just taking it 2 measures at a time. Okay. So here's the tricky part. Before, in this piece, I'm going back up. Every pattern was 2 times. 2 times, well, 4 times, I suppose. Then 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and 2. But now we're playing this D pattern, as I call it, only 1 time, and then immediately we're switching over to a new pattern. So that's why it's really important to kind of just keep your eyes glued on the score and really know what you're playing. So let's go ahead and look at the next pattern. So we have the notes E, B, E, F sharp, G sharp, B, and then here's where it gets confusing is by, technically we should have a D sharp, but instead we actually have an E natural. Now, I haven't listened to this piece too much, so there's a chance that that could be a D sharp. But the person who does these transcriptions, his name is, where's his name? Here it is, the Deku trombonist. He's usually pretty accurate. So I'm just going to trust him. So let's go ahead and look over that next pattern. And again, if I'm going too fast or if anyone has a question, feel free to ask. This is just me practicing and screwing around, basically. So we have E, B, E, F sharp, G sharp, B, and E. One more time. E, B, E, F sharp, G sharp, B, and E. So what I'm going to do for you right now is I'm going to play that a couple of times, and it's just a different pattern. That's all it is. So it's just the same fingering, that 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, cool. So now here's the tricky part. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go from playing that D pattern, as I call it, or the first part on a measure 23, and then going into measure 24. And I'm going to do that really slowly. So here we go. And then the next pattern. And then back to D. Sorry about that. That last part wasn't in the sheet. I was just getting bored. So, again, you know, just trying to keep it at a slow tempo, keep it going and everything. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and look at the right hand. So, we have, let me just go back to my computer. And for anyone who's watching this, and if I miss something or something, I'm going to archive this, and you can always just go back and check and watch it. So, starting on the 5th beat, we have B natural, C sharp to F sharp, going 3, and then it's tied. So instead of playing another F sharp, we hold it for another beat, and then we have G sharp, A, and then we go, A, and then we go to G sharp. So we have something like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So I'm gonna do that again for you one more time, starting on that B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not too bad. The fingering I use is I use 3, 4, 1, and then I put my second finger over there, and then I do 3, 4, 3. All right. So let's see. Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now and play both hands, starting from the top of the page. And then that's where it starts to get fun. So I'm going to do that one more time for you. Try to do it a little bit more in time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So that's where I got a little confused. Sorry about that. So right here where we have G sharp, instead of going back to an A natural, which I've gotten so accustomed to, it's actually back to an A sharp. So we have 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and do that pattern one more time. At this point, this is just basically a video that I'm making by myself, and then I'm just going to upload to YouTube or something later. So here we go. All right, so that's the first 2 bars. All right, Vascular Tech, what's up? How you doing? Right now, I'm doing a little lesson tutorial on how to play Lake Hylia from Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So if you'd like, you can stick around, watch and listen, ask questions. Otherwise, this is going to be broadcast and archived, and then I'm going to do a regular stream tonight. So thanks for tuning in. Okay. So now that we got those the first 4 bars done on the second page, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to the next pattern. So we have the notes D sharp, A sharp, D sharp again, E sharp, this is where it starts to get tricky. So this pattern right here is probably a pattern I would put notes on. And if it makes you feel better, you can always put E flat, B flat, E flat, F, F sharp, B flat, and E flat. But again, this is in sharps. So we have the notes D sharp, A sharp, D sharp, E sharp, F sharp, A sharp, and D sharp. One more time. D sharp, A sharp, D sharp, F sharp, sorry, E sharp, F sharp, A sharp, and then back to D sharp. So I'm going to go ahead and play that pattern for you, and we're probably going to use the same fingering as before, the 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's kind of an uncomfortable fingering. If you really want to do, you can use 5. You can do 5, 2, 1, put 5 on that E sharp, and then 5, 4, 2, 1. But I think it's a lot easier to just cross over and then just stretch. So let's go ahead and do that one more time with the same 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1 fingering. Now I'm going to try it with the 5th fingering. So, again, it's kind of a tricky, this is where it starts to get a little tricky on this piece. That's probably why when I tried to learn this like a year or two ago, I was like, I don't know if I want to do this. So, again, just do whatever feels comfortable for your hand. And so what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go from measure 23, 24, and 25. And I'm just going to play those all in a row, maybe 3 or 4 times. So here we go. Back to D. All right, cool. So yeah, it's not too hard of a pattern. And again, sorry that I don't have a really good camera to show you my fingers. If I did, I would. I'm going to try to get that going soon. So once you get those patterns taken care of, then we're going to move on. So here, it looks like we have the same pattern. We have D, A, D. But then here's where it gets a little tricky. We actually have a E sharp. Which is kind of weird, but you know, whatever. So let's try that right now. All right, cool. So again, this is where I would definitely start writing it down. So we have the notes D natural, and then we actually have A sharp, D natural, E sharp, F sharp, A sharp, and then we have D sharp. And again, I'm assuming that this is all correct. I've listened to it, but, you know, haven't really listened to it in super detail. So I'm just kind of trusting what the sheet music says. I may go over later. So I'm just going to use the same fingering I was using before, the 5, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, and give that a try and see how that plays out. And there's the pattern. Once you figure it out and like your eyes kind of adjust to it, because right now when I play with those patterns, I kind of need to look at my hands a little bit more just to make sure I get the right notes. But then it starts feeling a little bit more comfortable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next pattern we have, which I guess I'll call it a C sharp. And so we have C sharp, A sharp, C sharp, so 5, 2, 1, and then we have the E sharp, F sharp,